You know, everyone's favorite state, Ohio. They got corn.
Oh, hell yeah, the best one.
I'm struggling. Ohio's kind of interesting because on one hand, they got the most
Skibidi toilet Ohio. Only in Ohio. Ha ha ha. Look. Only in Ohio. Look.
Urban wastelands.
Only in Ohio.
On the other hand, they have these crazy rural Amish.
Only in Ohio. European watches. USA States
America.
Explained. AKA Pain. Because I don't know nothing. I don't know where Utah is.
Land of freedom, fast food, highways, oil, eagles,
burger,
and
guns,
you know
burger.
those fun, wholesome, harmless steel devices. Obviously, I'm talking about cars, which you can use to travel from one state to another, of which there are 50 spanning 6.
Flag of America. Look at the states. Oh my god.
Time zones, 4 million miles of road, and 200,000 fast food restaurants. Well, today we're going to be going through those states one by one and ranking them all on this beautiful tier.
Oh, he's doing a tier list. Oh, epic. Chad, which one's your favorite state? Tell me right now.
List. Little disclaimer, this video is going to be in 2 parts because I want to make sure I actually talk about every state and not rush any essential analysis.
Ohio.
Maybe with the exception of South Dakota. Yeah, anyway, the one
Florida
unified video would just be far too long for some of you guys' attention spans. I would have to start incorporating some Subway Surfers gameplay. You get the idea.
Don't worry about it, man. I'm used to it. Wisconsin. Florida. Sleep. Texas top 5. Damn.
Our first state up is Florida, the ancestral lands of the world famous Florida man, the shiny.
I know about the Florida man. Honestly, Florida is one of them that even I know where it is and what it does. AKA being silly.
Beacon of freedom, the mecca for redneck hillbillies and Disney adults alike. Hear me out right, these guys have to get an honorary S.
Has to be S.
Because this state is truly the pinnacle of America. Everything they stand for, everything they fantasize about. Other states could only dream about the simply humongous amount of soulless corporate slop malls. The most gigantic, colossal
10 million malls? Bro, this is freaky to me. The way the stuff is like laid out like this is so freaky to me. What is this? Why is everything straight? Why is everything a straight line? Why is everything a straight line? I'm losing it, bro. I'm too European for American maps.
Nauseating suburbs this world has ever seen. The sheer lack of any minorly usable public transport. The fucking highway systems. Oh my god, it's enough to make President Truman ascend into the clouds. Just look at this shit. That's a 2-hour drive.
What?
Bruh, only in Florida. That's right, we only use boats to suspiciously traffic that one specific sugary, energizing, addicting substance into Miami. Hell yeah, I'm talking about Coca-Cola. Obviously, I'm talking about Coca-Cola. I mean, almost 70% of Florida residents drink Coca-Cola daily.
Dude, I remember seeing this one clip of Asmongold drinking water and then running it down with Coca-Cola. Actual insanity, bro. How you gonna drink water and run it down with soda, bro?
What the Nah, these guys have to get an S. It's unnegotiable. Next up, Georgia.
America.
Man, what can I say? King Carly, UFC.
Georgia isn't that a country, man? Wasn't it Dr. Pepper? It might have been Dr. Pepper, but I don't know. Same thing.
Stalin, Skibidi Toilet. These guys are seriously producing.
Wait, Skibidi Toilet is from Georgia? Damn.
Some of the best contributions to our world today. Wait, hold up. Oh, no. Yeah, this state is just mid, honestly. They got one of the world's worst managed urban sprawls. But I'm gonna bump them up because of this sheer megalith of music to come out of this state. Anyone from Ray Charles to Gucci Mane, I'm almost certain your favorite music.
Damn, Gucci Mane. Let's go south. What's my favorite musician? How could you tell? How did he guess?
Legitimately wouldn't exist without the influence of this one ugly American city. Also, peaches. You know a state's gonna be amazing when their entire pride is based around one fruit that they're okay at growing.
Babe, how that peach cobbler tasting?
Yeah, that's like a thing in America, right? Like there'll be a state that'll be like, yeah, we here in the state we have the best watermelons. The watermelons from our state are the best watermelons. And no one ever no, wasn't there like a cheese contest or something where like they made cheese and like, oh, cheese from this state versus cheese from the other state?
It's all right. I have better at the school cafeteria.
They can get a medium C out of respect. Man, South Carolina is just like Georgia, but without.
Why is there a North Carolina? There is, right? Why is there two of them? Just unite them. Dude, US states are a mystery to me. Again, I'm too European.
Any of the redeeming qualities that Georgia has. Their biggest city has 150,000 people. Hell no. I was trying to find a reason not to put you guys in D. So I looked up things South Carolina's known for. Comes up with the city of Columbia. You guys find me one person who hears the word Columbia and thinks of South Carolina. Bro, Columbia, British.
Yeah, no, what do they mean the city of Columbia? Isn't Columbia a country?
Columbia, Columbus, Christopher Columbus, District of Columbia, the fucking Coke brand. Ain't no one thinking about South Carolina, bro. Sorry to break it to you. I really got no reason to put
Columbia
South Carolina any higher than E. Sorry, guys. On the other hand, North Carolina. This is...
Dude, wait, do all the states have a flag? Wait, why do they have flags? Why are they so goofy?
Any higher than E. Sorry.
Wait, what is that? That's just a moon and a palm tree. Why? Yo, I didn't know they had flags. Yo, thank you for the follow. Why do they have flags?
Guys, on the other hand, North Carolina. This is the cool sibling. This is the well-fed sibling. This is the only sibling worth giving a fucking visit. And let's be real here, this is the good ending. Anyway, North Carolina, it's
Damn,
in the
no, just make it Carolina. Just put them together and make it Carolina.
top 10 states for population. They got a diverse natural landscape and a diverse economy. It birthed the aeroplane, Pepsi, Krispy Kreme, mini golf,
Damn.
Fred Durst, the machine gun. Wow, what a breathtaking fleet of goddamn American innovations, man. I never thought I'd do this, but I think I'm willing to put one of the Carolinas in A, you know. Now, Virginia.
In A. Damn. And the flag wasn't that bad, I guess. I'll rate the flags. Virginia, where all the virgins are from.
I don't know, man. All that comes to mind is the Appalachian Mountains. So,
Mina Felicia getting
Now,
gutted
for
by an eldritch horror beyond human comprehension. The random hillbilly who had warned me hours earlier to not go wandering in the damn woods.
understanding, Virginia is split into a few subdivisions. To the west, you got... To the north, you got people that get that DC money, use that DC Metro, pay them DC taxes, but also get really, really offended if you refer to them as being from DC, not Northern Virginia. And then you got the southeast, which is just frat bros and sparkly
TikTok Riz Party! Yo, that's a throwback. I wonder how the group leader is doing.
teeth, spray tanned Jersey construction trash. I'm feeling a D. Maryland. I gotta give these guys credit where credit's due. They did name themselves after one of the...
Yeah, no, these are British cookies, but they're not that good. I'm gonna be honest, they are quite bad.
greatest confectionery item.
But this guy is British, so no wonder he thinks they're good. I'm sorry, it just has no taste. Like, they're completely tasteless.
Ever created. I respect that. Now, this is a pretty small state, so I'm gonna end up basing 100% of my analysis off of Baltimore. And man, what a city. Baltimore, despite being a relatively small, seriously mid city, manages to somehow constantly remain relevant in the world. Be that through violent fatal bridge collapses, or famous TV shows, or that fucking accent, bruh.
Even I've heard about like Baltimore stuff, and I don't know anything about America. They're doing a good job if they want to stay like known.
Plus, I gotta give them some points for being one of the few American states with a half decent flag.
That's crazy. I'm sorry. That is an affront to God. No. No. That's giving graphic designers my passion. The way these are not like equal and they're like wonky. Nah, dude. And these colors clash. You don't need this many colors in a flag. This yellow and this red, like this pinkish red with the orangey yellow clashes so bad. Yellow and red looks like a jockey off. Jockey? Chicken jockey. Chicken jockey. Ooh.
But that being said, I think you guys are being hella greedy, right? Give this bit of land to West Virginia, man. God knows they need it. For now, I'm gonna give them an E, but you know, I might bump it up depending on how many angry Baltimoreans I get in the comments. Now, Delaware. Hey, I got nothing bad to say.
Delaware is a state? I thought it was a city. What? Why do you give it the whole state for? It doesn't need it.
About Delaware, yo, please someone hook me up with that Delaware tax status, man. Yo, I'ma represent you guys. I just want that. Now, really though, the only thing Delaware has going for it.
Delaware does not have a state sales tax rate. What does that mean? What's a state estate tax or inheritance tax? What?
Is its tax status and its OG status, and I mean real OG status. For my Brits, imagine the Guernsey of America. For my Europeans, imagine the Monaco of America. You get the deal. There's a lot of Delawareans with this fit and this type of humor.
I love the memes. They're just laughing. It's just like
New Jersey.
This looks fucking beautiful. The hell is this? This is fucking Bayonne, New Jersey. It's on the water in Bayonne. Look at this. It's on the water in Bayonne.
Now, yeah, it might be one of the ugliest places on the face of planet Earth. Yes, they might all leech off New York's economy and then beat
what is
you to
Bayonne? What are we talking about?
pulp if you slightly insinuate that they even resemble a New Yorker. But look, man, I watched too much Sopranos to not give Jersey at least.
Oh, Jersey, bro. This shit looks like Birmingham. For real. Honestly, I do think New Jersey is the Birmingham of America, for sure.
At least a C.
How about that prick's face when he saw the gat?
This show has had so much of an impact on me that I was in Italy calling any cut of meat I saw gabagool. I quite possibly unknowingly created a few lifelong nemesises with that. But whatever. New Jersey is getting a high D or a low C. I don't care.
Sorry, I need to see the flag.
But whatever. New Jersey is getting a high D
What
or
is that? It's just yellow with a small sigil, bro. Nah, dude. Nah. Graphic design is not the passion of American flag makers, man. Come on. Jersey, like the shore? I think so. Yes, it might be. Oops.
low C. I don't care. One thing I do care about though is how Italians view me. So I'm not gonna lie, the gabagool situation did embarrass me a little
I
bit.
learned it is called capacolo.
If you wanna travel or meet people with
This is an ad incoming.
interesting other cultures and you don't want them to hate you like they hated me, you should definitely consider learning the language. That's where italki comes in. Using this online language learning platform, you can take personalized one-on-one lessons with native speaking teachers anytime, anywhere. Because it's just you and the teacher, you will really focus on your speaking and listening, more conversational skills, which will increase your confidence through actual interaction.
You know, I'm gonna get this and I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go for Spanish. And I'm gonna say that my Spanish is very bad, like I have zero knowledge. And then I'm gonna start speaking to the teacher in Spanish just to flex, you know? I'm not gonna learn anything, even though I could learn a lot more. I'm just gonna be like, yeah.
For me, that's about
Oh my god,
10,000%
don't.
more useful than
Don't worry. I don't have enough lack of self-awareness and lack of shame to do that.
what I get out of conventional lessons. When I took language classes in school, I genuinely didn't gain any useful conversational skills. But 30 minutes on italki with my teacher, and I already had
Yeah, like the one guy that's like, oh, British man shocks in perfect Mandarin Chinese. You know, I'll be like that, and I'll get like probably a Spanish teacher, and then I'll start speaking the most Mexican Spanish I know. Because that's where I know all my Spanish from.
Basic phrases down.
Buona notte, that means good night. And you may use also buonasera. So the informal one would be come stai, and the formal one come sta.
If you want to
Damn, is that Italian? That's very similar to Spanish. Se hablas español. Stop. Now ¿de dónde eres? ¿De dónde eres?
find a mentor that's a good match for you, just like I did. There's over 30,000 teachers, and you can
They're
find
basically the same. That's so fucked up because Artless is Italian and he keeps saying that he can't learn Spanish.
perfect one through some easy filtering. And best of all, with italki you can pay for each lesson individually. There's no subscriptions and lessons are priced from only $5. You get 3 trial lessons which are refundable, so there's no financial risk involved. Start your language learning journey now with the link below in the description, and don't forget, use that promo code Geopold05. This gives the first 50 users an extra $5 when they make their first purchase of $10 or more. So be quick, sign up now. Pennsylvania. So Philly is, in my opinion, one of North America's best cities, okay?
Okay, after further research, I can confirm that that was completely incorrect, and I don't stand by that statement, but this next bit still kind of stands anyways.
Surprisingly good city planning, public transport and greenery for an American city. Maybe because it was founded...
Yeah, this actually looks quite vaguely European, this street.
Designed and built by Europeans. Either way, this city is home to Frank, okay? Also, Philly cheesesteak, or also this guy.
What you doing, dickhead? Dickhead? Yeah.
Philly cheesesteak.
Yeah. Yo!
So look, if we're basing Pennsylvania's rating off Philly alone, we could be looking at S. But unfortunately, I gotta take into account
The rest of Pennsylvania.
my theory is, because Pennsylvania is so unnecessarily
So Philadelphia is a city in Pennsylvania. Dude, this is so confusing, man.
big, they got 20 million fucking people. Basically, they just exist as their own thing and therefore develop their own deep south, and it's west of the state, which is fucking off the rails, bro. It's straight up a stronghold of redneckness, a slice of Alabama in the north of the US, where you can find moonshine flowing, guns toting, money owing, corn growing, patriotism showing, truck towing, lawn mowing, dinghy rowing, church going, crop sowing, eagle crowing Americans. A tier. New York. Now, I've already talked about New York too much on this channel, so I won't
New York.
hang on about it for too long. But
Even I know about
importantly,
this
in this state
one.
exists the biggest city in America. One of the most powerful, most important mega cities in the world. A magical place where
Nueva
dudes
York.
like this and dudes like this can peacefully coexist on the same train mode. A beacon of
That's
humanity.
crazy. Is that real? What the fuck? Where did he get the No, wait, because okay. Where did he get the inflatable bathtub? Like, he must have filled that in there, and then why are people only now doing anything about it once he already filled it in with water too?
A role model to every other Western city. The proof.
Now what the hell is wrong with you? No Diddy! What the hell? You just kissing random people?
What the? What the? Bro, that was like right there, okay? I don't know why people would trap the people with a net, but if you're walking, you shouldn't walk in it, even though it doesn't feel like it should happen.
Walked in that jail for the first time. You know what I smelled? I smelled butt ass. Butt ass.
Butt ass.
It was so bad. I mean, the funk hit you like boom.
I knew I wasn't tripping. Why the fuck is it all this bread? Like, I'm trying to call my
What?
mom and shit, like...
What? What? Why is it all in bread?
What the fuck is going on?
What? Hey, yo, pause.
Subway experience. I came from, I seen a pigeon get on for one stop and then get off on the next one. Like, you could have flew there, my nigga.
Yo, that That's epic! He has a cat on his head! You think it's like Ratatouille? Like he's screaming, but in reality the cat is controlling him to do it, Chad. That's the rage and anger of the cat.
New York is an easy S tier. It's like Pennsylvania but better. They got everything. Connecticut, my pretty uninformed opinion of this state is that it's basically one big suburb of
I thought you was gonna say one big Walmart.
New York City. Almost 100% residential detached family homes. Yes, they might have some of the most prestigious colleges in the world, but overall, it's generally like under-seasoned New York. It's like Timu.
Yeah, you missed South Carolina. He said it was super lame, super boring, way worse than North Carolina, and put it in like, was it E tier?
New York. For example, the famous staple pizza in Connecticut is essentially New York style pizza.
Don't show me pizza. I'm fun. I was gonna say I'm funny now. I'm hungry now.
Pizza, but without the cheese. Bro, that's like selling me a car with no...
Why would you want a pizza without the cheese? Never mind. I'm not hungry anymore.
Wheels. That's like a house with no roof. I know you guys are kind of meant to be the cleverest Americans, but yo, taking cheese off pizza is
Ew.
seriously one of the lowest IQ moves a human could make. If this is the kind of thing they're proud of inventing, Connecticut's getting a low score, man. They can get a low C.
Yeah, see? South Carolina E tier.
Right, next up, Rhode Island. Firstly, ain't no
Dude, that flag is crazy.
reason for this state to exist, bro. Rhode Island is like Delaware if they had tweakers instead of millionaires. It's like Delaware if the Biden family was only Hunter Biden. Rhode Island is really the outcast of New England, the unloved sibling. They got the worst potholes in the country, some of the most potent strain of tweakers in the country, one of the worst reputations in the
Jesus
country. I know
Christ.
they got Joey, but I think in a good timeline, the only Rhode Island we have on a planet is this one. Sorry guys, you know where you're going. Right,
F tier. We got our first F tier for Rhode Island, man. I don't even know if that's like, you know, tragic or not. I don't really have a dog in this fight. I don't really know these states like that, okay? I don't know them like that.
Massachusetts. In my eyes,
Massachusetts.
this is a very decent state. Obviously, they got Boston, home to Harvard, kinda. A city where everyone's got a silly accent. They eat lots of lobster. I've heard people are quite friendly in the same way Northerners in the UK are friendly.
That explains it to me.
Which is that they're also very mean, but they're also like friendly. It's hard to explain. Once again, like with Philly and New York, Boston was actually built by people that have some regard for cities being pretty and green and efficient and walkable and
Europeans! You don't know the states that you're not from? What the fuck? I don't know what to tell you this, man. I'm from Romania. I don't know. I'm not from any of the states because I'm from Europe. There it is. It's out of the bag. Cat's out of the bag. I'm from Europe. Okay, that's why I stream at this time, because it's 11 p.m. for me. Jesus Christ, it's late.
nice. But for some reason, everyone from other East Coast states seems to fucking hate Boston. I don't know why, but it's like they all for once come together in a unified alliance to just shit on Massachusetts.
Bacon, egg, and cheese in Boston. What the what are we doing?
What's wrong with it? I kind of want it. Bro, what? I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry to confess. I'm not American. I'm not from any of the states, as you could probably tell by my accent, but, you know.
Look at the egg.
Yeah, that looks nice. I like egg.
Square slice of SpongeBob's ass on an everything bagel with prosthetic bacon is what I'm looking at for fucking $7.50.
I kind of want it, man. You're definitely from Nevada, bro. Is there like a test, like what state you're from, but without being from a state? Like a personality test, you know? Because if there is, I'll do that at the end. Like, I want a personality state test that tells you what state you're from based on personality. I'll do that. I'll do that at the end of this video.
Fucking $8 for this shit. $8
I guess a big negative about this state is the winters, but overall Boston seems kind of like a Leeds or Manchester American equivalent. Pretty decent, but fucking cold. I do, however, have a sweet spot for that northern charm. I think it's the Swedish blood in me. So I'm gonna give you guys a strong B. Alright, now we're on to this top northern corner. And I don't know if this is controversial to say. Can we just consolidate this into one state? In a country where Texas
Bro.
and California exist, there ain't
30 million, 39 million.
reason why New Hampshire and Vermont aren't at least smushed together. Anyway, I'm gonna go through these pretty quickly, as the probability that someone from Maine is watching this right now is like 1 in 5.
Do we have any Mainers? Any Mainer from in the chat, you know, or in the comments to see?
5,000. However, Maine is definitely the coolest out of these, alright? They got spooky evil creatures and shit. They got serious lobster-related economic prosperity.
What? 90% of the country's lobster supply comes from Maine. The state produces 100 million pounds of premium lobster here. Damn. These don't exist.
They got a fucking desert, they got hillbillies, and most importantly, my Scandinavian ancestors were out there way before, like 500 years before Columbus. Maine is getting a B. Hey, I like a good freaky evil spot like that, man. Hit me up if you got a ranch.
Is that
in
Mr.
Maine,
Beast?
bro. I need to visit. New Hampshire is basically a more boring version.
What happened to Old Hampshire? And also, if it's existed for like 300 years, why is New Hampshire not Old Hampshire? How is it still new?
Of Maine, less freaky, less lobster. I was really looking for some fun facts or something about this state. I literally couldn't find shit. Please, New Hampshire.
So boring. We don't talk about Old Hampshire. Old Hampshire is just Hampshire and it's in England. What? Oh yeah, because that's on America. Oh shit, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Experience. Comment if I'm wrong here, but you know a state is bad when you look up its fun facts, and the first thing that comes up is that they have around
1,300 lakes or ponds. Oh yeah, nah, ain't no New Hampshire person in here, bro.
1,000 lakes. Boy, that ain't shit. Don't come to me, a
Wow, so
half-British,
exciting.
half-Scandinavian man, and brag about your amount of lakes. If you're not Canadian, you are gonna lose that one. Vermont, bro. You know how tiny of a population you gotta have to be under fucking North Dakota? You know how little citizens you gotta have to just minorly beat Wyoming? Oh, nah, bro. All I could find about these guys is that they make some pretty mid ice cream, and they put out an arrest.
Ben & Jerry's mid? Okay. Okay, bro. Okay, bro. Okay, dude. Flag review? Wait. He goes too fast for the flags.
Is that they make some pretty mid ice cream, and they put out an arrest warrant.
Was the
for
flag
George
not there?
Bush
Am I
because
stupid?
of the Iraq War, which is pretty fucking awesome. That being said, though, you guys are getting a D. Like,
Wait. Yeah, it's just another blue thing with a weird sigil. A lot of them are just a blue thing with a weird sigil. Not much I can say about that. You know? Not that wacky. Cooking, good looking. The kitchen. Hell yeah.
New Hampshire, whatever. Onto the glorious Midwest, starting with
That's the Midwest I keep hearing about.
where I have a little hit.
Oh! It's called wait.
Which is pretty fucking awesome. That being said, though, you guys are getting a D like New Hampshire.
Wait.
Whatever. Onto the
It's called Midwest because it's in the middle towards the west. Yo! I mean, I guess that makes sense, right? I know because I've heard the descendants of the people from the Midwest. I never thought more about it. I just thought it was, I knew it was an area in America, but I never thought about what it actually means in, you know, when you hear like a denomination for something that technically means something, but you just associate with the thing without thinking about the technicality of the meaning, so then you realize.
Glorious Midwest, starting with somewhere I have a little history with. You know, everyone's favorite state, Ohio. They got corn.
Oh hell yeah, the best one.
I'm struggling. Ohio's kind of interesting because on one hand they got the most
Skibidi toilet Ohio. Only in Ohio. Ha ha ha. Look, only in Ohio. Look.
urban wastelands.
Only in
On the
Ohio.
other hand, they have these crazy rural Amish
Only in Ohio.
communities that are like America's version of the Sentinel Island uncontacted tribes. Truly a state with great variety. One thing
Only
I
in
truly
Ohio.
didn't comprehend about Ohio was how many fucking people live there. Somehow, it's
11 million Ohioans, bro. That's too
the
many.
7th most populous state. That being said, it's the only one out of the top 30 most populated states that has a declining population. That means more people want to move to Alabama than Ohio.
Okay, bro. Okay, bro. More people want to go to Alabama. Buh.
And for that reason, we could see Ohio lose its top 10 status in the future, which isn't surprising seeing as it's apparently pretty common to find Ohio natives cosplaying as being from other cool parts of the US. Trust me, right? Go to the trendiest block in Brooklyn. Go to the most hipster coffee shop you can see. Go up to the guy with the suspiciously thick New York accent, the Yankee cap, and the hipster beard sitting at the window, faking reading a book. Ask him which borough he grew up in. 1000% he's gonna stutter a bit, look up at you with shame in his eyes, and quietly mutter, I'm actually from Upper Arlington in Columbus, man, but please don't tell anyone. All that hate aside, I'm probably gonna end up ranking Ohio above some of the other Midwest states, purely because it has the population,
Only
it
in
has the
Ohio.
big cities, the manpower, and it has a half relevant importance in terms of my career. So, I gotta represent Indiana. I'm sure Indianans will get angry at me for saying this one, but I think the state is pretty similar to Ohio.
Wait, Indiana Jones is about, is Indiana Jones just a guy called Jones from Indiana? What? Yo, what? Yes! His name is Indiana. Wait, he's not from Indiana? Indiana? Why is there a state called that? I don't think I've ever heard of this state before. Was there always a state called Indiana? Are you sure they didn't add it later? Like, the way they changed the planets order? Like Saturn used to be before Jupiter and stuff. They changed that. So, did they make this state as well? I think they made it. It's been around for decades. Nah, I don't think so. Nah. His dog was named Indiana. I've never seen the movies.
Just more flat and more rural, and instead of having 3 big cities, they have 1. If anything, I guess it looks a little more aesthetically pleasing than some of the other Rust Belt states, especially.
All Indiana Jones movies happen in Indiana. Well, I guess at least that's on theme. They named the state after the guy. Okay, no, you're lying. There's no way. There's no way they named the state after the guy.
If you fuck with corn, unless you go north, where there is a almost entirely abandoned ghost town called Gary, a place.
Gary? That's not a town. That's a person. What do you mean, Gary? That's a guy. That's a dude. That's not a town. That's a dude. Gary, bro. It's Gary.
They just barricade the highway exit that goes to Gary. Anything to keep humans out of that place. I think in an old video I actually promised I'd visit Gary, Indiana one day. So
The most miserable city in America.
Soon. We'll see. Either way, it's not looking good for Indiana, bro. I'm sorry to do this, but
Gary.
Right next to Gary, however, there exists one of the great American cities, Chicago.
Chicago deep dish pizza. Hell yeah! Hell yeah!
Illinois, home of the bean, Kanye, deep dish pizza.
The bean!
What more could you want from a city? Well, quite.
Hell yeah! Oh my god! Chicago.
Quite a bit more, to be fair. Despite
What state is Chicago in? Chicago?
having 12 million people, this city has a completely inefficient, unreliable public transport network. Some of the worst
Illinois.
neighborhoods in the Western Hemisphere. Fucking shitloads of pollution, all types, and in general, it's a pretty minging place. But that being said, the cultural relevance of Chicago can't be understated. The amount of music, art, etc. that's come out of here. I like how they make the river green on St. Patrick's Day, much to the...
What? How do they do that? The S is silent? Illinois? Oh, I guess that does sound more like what I've heard. Illinois. Oh yeah, wait! Illinois is the same. Okay, I guess it is. Fuck me, man. But I swear, I just don't know anything about America, bro. They piss in the river after drinking Monster. Surely.
Amusement of actual Irish people. I like how they put cheese under the tomato sauce.
Where's the cheese?
Remember when we talked about St. Patrick's Day and we told us they dyed the river green? Well, you did. I thought you meant this as a joke. Because who would think they actually dye a river green?
It's under the sauce. There's no cheese on it. It's under the sauce. Like, I'm Italian and this is hurting me. It's from Chicago. But it's just sauce.
It's under the sauce.
That's not enough cheese. Cheese is under the sauce. It's not enough.
But that's Chicago we're talking about. What about the rest of Illinois? I know it's very frustrating for Illinois citizens how everyone thinks their state is only Chicago. So
yeah, I didn't even know. I thought Chicago had its own state. I'm gonna be honest. You know, they dyed green to hide the bodies. Boh.
I came up with a map labeling the entire state. First off, we got Abraham Lincoln's house. Then we got amphetamine abuse. Then we got the bean. And then we got corn. That should lay it out more fairly. I'm thinking low D for you guys at best.
Damn.
Then we got Michigan, famously best tap water in the country.
I have heard about. I like the ones that I've heard about because it helps me narrow it down.
Famously least potholes in the country.
I bought 3 tires just in 1 week. It's to the point I don't want to drive on the street.
Famously one of the most prosperous.
Damn, dude, that's like worse than Romania, man.
Upcoming economies in the country. Famously beautiful, sunny, mild winters. Famously one of the most reliable, forward-thinking public transport networks in the country. Famously cuisine mecca, one of the world's prime locations for fine dining.
Chicken glizzards and Fago. Bro.
Oh my god, man, Michigan is a mess. Cities like Detroit, Flint, they've almost reached
Flint and Steel? Flint and Steel. Flint gang? Wait, there's a sequel, Flint? No way, bro. Dude, why would they make a city to reference the Minecraft movie, bro? It just came out. How did they already make a city to reference it, bro?
Meme status for just how bad they are.
Someone stole my fucking porch. I'm married.
For example, right, Detroit was meant to get this big sign like Hollywood. This was the original plan they proposed. And yo, this is what they ended up building.
Oh, Detroit. Ooh. Ooh.
Bro, this state can't even build a small-scale infrastructure project without getting fucking roasted. It's crazy.
Now here we go, thinking we about to get some shit.
Damn, the only thing I know about Detroit is that they become human over there. Yeah.
Now they didn't order us a sign off fucking Wish. I thought our sign was gonna look like Hollywood. That's probably why they put this bitch right by the hood. While we was about to get some shit, they really just hold us.
No. I love it. Just no. Not even anything else. Just no.
Put a sign in times of Rome, and we just keeping it real. We ain't never hated. I think I seen a bigger sign at a graduation. Hey, man, we must have got these.
Isn't this Detroit sign official video? Bro, is this a diss track to the Detroit side?
You know, some of those clear negatives aside, I gotta give it to these guys. They got some spirit, they got some soul, they got some good fucking energy, man. Plus, despite the state shrinking in population
And they become human
recently, you gotta admit, bro, Michigan culturally is low-key more influential than all the other Midwest states combined. So many musicians, so many bands, athletes, inventors, they got everything, man. Bro,
Oh, Detroit is part of Michigan.
Straight up wouldn't have music if it wasn't for Detroit. You know that Berlin style techno music, right? That all Germans bump. Just guess who invented that shit. What the hell would depress
Ghetto tech? It is unironically called ghetto tech.
wearing Germans do without Michigan, man. So I gotta give them a low C out of respect. Danny Brown is like my lifelong idol, bruh. They have to be above Illinois. Wisconsin, it sounds like it should be part of Canada. Wisconsin, you know what I mean? I also say that because back in the day there was this poor dude from Wisconsin who'd never left the Midwest before until his family moved to fucking Birmingham, UK.
Oh, dude, nah. Nah, bro, Birmingham. Oh, dude. Oh, man.
So sorry for that poor guy, bro. He was sat next to me in a load of classes, and I swear the only thing I remember the guy fucking talking about was ice hockey, how I shouldn't use swear words, and hot dog eating contests. This guy put me on Joey Chestnut
in Birmingham, man. Turning out bad for worse, dude.
early, fam. In Milwaukee, I know they got that funny ass clap music, and that's the absolute extent of my Wisconsin knowledge. It's getting a low C for my OG, man. Shout out. Next up, Minnesota. Okay, I might sound a bit biased,
Minnesota.
right, but I think this is a state people.
Why did they make the soda small? Soda!
Are seriously sleeping on. It's got some of the best public services in the Midwest, maybe even in the US. Education, public transport, relatively low cost of living. People here are friendly as fuck. Yeah, they might have absolutely abysmal, unbearable, horrific winters, but they got you covered, okay? Minneapolis figured out the most American way to protect its citizens from harsh winters. You simply do not have to go outside. The cities in Minnesota are designed with indoor corridors going between.
What? Okay, that's metal. They have indoor corridors? What?
Between buildings above the streets. So effectively.
Yo! That's cool though. Yo! You never have to leave.
Assuming you have a garage, you can go about your entire day and not breathe fresh air once. It's a 4chan user's dream, bro.
Beautiful.
This is American innovation at its finest. Something about this skywalk system is so satisfying to my brain. I fully want to visit Minneapolis.
I know, right?
Just to walk around endless corridors for the.
Yeah, just corridor to different thing. Yeah.
The entire day. I feel like that would give me ultimate peace. I actually think this is kind of genius, right? Because it solves the mall problem that the rest of the Midwest has. The reason so many malls in Michigan, Ohio, Illinois, Indiana lay completely abandoned and decaying is because people have no reason.
It's crazy because I've kept hearing memes about like the malls being abandoned and stuff, and I saw it in shows like South Park, but like in Europe, the malls are still very much very operational. Like there's one even in my city that I live in the UK, which is pretty small. In Bucharest, there's like 5 big ones that are super, like, it's still very full all the time, even though we have online shopping as well. So
to drive,
I never really thought that like it was real. Like I was always like, I thought it was a very exaggerated meme that the malls are literally dying.
All the way to a physical non-food related shop and buy stuff anymore. And the idea of a mall is to rope customers of other shops into your shop through IRL marketing. A mall only works if people are walking through subconsciously browsing. Well, all these skywalks obviously have a lot of people walking through subconsciously browsing, and they put shops in them. It's perfect. And it means Minnesota.
It's like a airport. Many Americans malls have sadly been completely abandoned. Why? Like, you see, this actually, I don't understand in my brain. Because in my brain, all humans at the end of the day are humans, even if they're born in different places. So I don't really understand this fundamentally. Like, there has to be some sort of systemic thing that made it so that in America, they were abandoned much faster and swiftly abandoned compared to Europe. You know, for a lot of people, they're far away and it's cheaper and easier to order online. I mean, it's kind of the same in here, but it doesn't really matter. People just go for it for fun. It's probably because we got city centers, and that's where all the stuff is, like malls. Wait, you don't have city centers in America? Like, you don't have just like one part of the city that's like the main part of the city where everyone goes and all the cool stuff is? Probably public transport. Probably. Because when I want to go to the mall, I just pop in the bus in Bucharest. She's just kind of everywhere. Yeah, that's probably why.
Minnesota skirts one of the big urban decay problems that every other Midwest state has. I actually think in a lot of ways Minnesota...
Yeah, I guess if you have to drive everywhere, why, dude, why the fuck would you drive? Like, who the hell would want to drive to go to a mall?
Is kind of the best example of how a Midwest state can operate in 2024. But I have to admit, yeah, I do have a little personal bias for this state, right? They got hella Swedes. Nah, not those. I'm talking about Swedish restaurants, shops, cafes, inns, churches, a colossal IKEA, entire Swedish-speaking communities. I'm talking towns called Lindström. They got plaques commemorating the OGs. Their football team is called the Vikings. Oh my god, man. Plus, this state has a load of Somalis too, so I know they're gonna have my samosas on point. Man, this state has gotta be an A. It's gotta be an A.
Nice,
right,
W.
Iowa. Man, I do not know. I was looking...
Iowa. I love driving 20 minutes to a mall and then trying to find a parking lot for 30 minutes. Yeah.
Up like good things about Iowa, and consistently one of the main pros seems to be that the traffic is great. There's no congestion on the roads. Yeah, maybe because there's no fucking people there. How can you have a traffic jam if there's 2 people driving down the highway? They do not have a city with more than 208,000 people. Literally all Iowa do is corn and Slipknot. That's it. I'm not definitively making this cool. I'm open to Iowans changing.
We got an Iowan! We got an Iowan in the chat!
My mind in the comments, but for now...
Hey, we have pigs too. F tier! No! Nighthawk, say something fast to defend your Iowa's country honor. State honor.
Sorry, man. Missouri, on the other hand, is like Iowa, but actually with some notable cities. Well, just about. They kind of just about scraped having both these cities. Firstly, St. Louis, the burgers look fabulous, the pizza looks god-awful, but seems like a half-decent city, I guess. And then we have the city that these guys straight up stole. It's called Kansas City, but it's in Missouri by about 20 miles.
Kansas City is not in Kansas.
Bro, make it make sense. Why the fuck did Missouri get Kansas City? Surely this is unfair, man. Oh, yeah. Alright.
City founders derived the name from the Kansas or Kaw River, which was named for the Kansas Indians. The state of Missouri then incorporated the area of the city of Kansas in 1853. They renamed it to Kansas City in 1889.
This state seems alright to me, but apparently a lot of people hate it. They got poverty, crime, decent bit of meth. Also, people like to state how it's a red state, a free Republican land. But they have these massive, insane jaywalking laws. Like, you have to pay if you get caught crossing a fucking road.
What? $1,000?
My ass, bro. Y'all ain't got no...
In the UK, jaywalking is like legal and encouraged in a sense of like no one uses the buttons on the what's it called, the lights, basically. So you just you are more of a loser if you actually wait for it to become green than if you just pass when there's no cars. Like, that's... dude, the British people, there's crosswalks, okay? But the what's it called? Stoplight! There it is. The stoplight is a suggestion. Unironically, and I found out it's actually legal to do so. Like, you as a walker, it is your responsibility to not die. But if you jaywalk, you don't get in trouble because you're basically gambling with your own life. I press it and just cross anyways, even if it's not green. I always wait for it to be green because sometimes people come out of nowhere and I'm too scared and everyone looks at me like a loser because I'm waiting for it to be green because no one ever waits for it to be green. Like, no one. And I mean, no one waits for the stoplight to be green to cross, and I always do. And the thing is, like, sometimes I feel adventurous, and I'm like, okay, I'll not wait. And every single time, I'm like, I'll not wait. It's either a car comes out of nowhere, or it turns yellow. And in the UK, yellow doesn't mean, oh, you're ready to go. Yellow means floor it. As soon as it goes yellow, you have to floor it. So, if you're on the sidewalk, mid-crossing, and it turns yellow, there will be a car that will try to kill you simply because they are legally not allowed to pass. So, yeah.
Rights. That being said, it has to be Iowa, so we'll give it a low E. And Kansas seems to me like Missouri, but with less meth and more good old corn. Yeah, corn is becoming a big theme with these states,
corn.
I don't know too much about Kansas, but I've been informed from some inside sources. Yeah, Lawrence is apparently the spot. I've heard it's a cheeky little unexploited gem, so I would like to visit one day before it gets
just like the Warhammer god.
That being said, though, we're really getting into some Great Plains territory with Kansas. And obviously that comes with the dread...
Why are Romanians? Wait, are Romanians Germanic or Slavic? Guess. You don't know. I want you to guess what the Romanians are. I visited Bucharest a few times and it's like the semaphores were invisible for everybody except me. Yeah. Just don't go at yellow, their cars. Yeah, but the thing is, it can be red, and I'll be passing. A little bit of both. I know it's Latin, sort of. It is mainly a Latin. Like, it's mainly romantic. That's why it's called Romania. But it does have a little bit of Slavic. It doesn't really have Germanic, though. Like, I would say that's the least of the influences, but it is there. But at the same time, also has Turkish influence, which I would say is probably at the same level as the Germanic one, you know?
Twisters. Kansas is one of the worst states in terms of
Slavic nation. We are not a Slavic nation. We are so not a Slavic, okay? Okay, buh.
Tornadoes and is currently under severe tornado risk as I speak. And bro, you're telling me I got a risk?
Dude, I've never seen a tornado. They look so cool though. There's no tornadoes in Europe, chat. No tornadoes in Europe.
Life and my house being violently disintegrated into dust by the wind just to live somewhere that looks like this? You're fucking tripping, bro. The risk versus reward ain't adding up. You're telling me I gotta live in an endless astroturf field?
How do they happen? Is it because it's so barren that they happen?
Is the air? I got a beef with the air? Nah, that's crazy, man. Kansas getting a low D just because I want to think it's nicer than Missouri. And I do think the world should get together and make Missouri.
We had one in Romania a few years ago, but that's the only one. Damn weird.
Give Kansas City to Kansas.
Wide flat areas help make it.
Oh man, this is where my boy Saul got banished to, man. I can't represent Gene Takovic, bro. Nebraska seems like one dull state. It's either Corn or Omaha. And
Nebraska.
Omaha seems like the most fun city. This state is so boring. It actually houses some mammoths. Once again, people...
Yeah, when you look up fun facts and this is what you get, you know there's nothing there.
Out here risking their lives just to live in Nebraska, which seems even more boring than Kansas. So yous are unfortunately going to be getting a high F. I'm sorry. I know. Now onto the Dakotas, neither of which have a mill. So I'm gonna fly through them pretty quick because I highly doubt more than 10 people from either Dakota are ever gonna watch this. First off, you guys should just
Damn, dude, that is so much space for less than 1 million people. Like, unironically, there is so much fucking space, and like for less than 1 million people each.
Into one state, let's be real. I know there were some silly arguments back in the day, but come on man, this would make way more sense. North Dakota, they're literally just Canadians. They got Canadian accents. Winnipeg is their closest major city. They gotta deal with temperatures as low as fucking minus 50 degrees. North Dakotans are on average richer than South Dakotans, I guess. Yo, people are actually balling out here for some reason. 6th highest GDP in the country. I mean, it makes sense. You'd have to pay me a serious bag to live up.
Duck hunting is great.
In North Dakota, they got the tallest structure in the USA. The only purpose of which is to make sure they have good TV signal, allowing brain-rotting talk shows to be just as enjoyable in Grafton, North Dakota as they are in New York City. If someone put a gun up to my head and said, I hate to do this, Leo, but you're gonna have to move to one of the Dakotas for the rest of your life with no chance of escape, choose one now or perish, I would definitely go with North Dakota for the reason that I was able to talk about North Dakota for about 20-30 seconds, right? I think with South Dakota I got max 10 seconds. The one and only notable thing about this 77,000 square mile state is that they got Mount Rushmore. That's it. All my notes on South Dakota are done. They are getting a
Mount Rushmore is kind of metal. Like for the longest time I just didn't think it was real, because that's crazy. What do you mean you sculpted the president faces in the mountain? I thought it was a lie, like a myth, you know?
medium to low E, sorry. Right, well that's the first half done. The East Coast, New England and the Midwest have all been tier listed, and I'm gonna emphasize this, right, this isn't final. If you've got any hot takes about any of these, right?
I'm not gonna be watching part 2 right now, but I do want Connecticut. Nah, man. On my way to find a rope, bro. Nah, dude, Connecticut. Oh, dude. Yay, win. I don't think that's a win, bro. I don't think that's a win. You're kind of cute. Shut up!